Hey, Billy, how are you?
I'm good, Jenny.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. You know I had to dress up for you.
Oh, my God, you look so chic.
Even though it's radio.
Tell me about it, honey.
I see your face is beat, so you know what I'm talking about.
I beat it down in the morning. So before we get into Pose, you need to tell me about that Sun God Met Gala entrance, please.
What do you want to know about it?
Well, for people that don't know about it, haven't seen it, explain it.
So the Met Gala's theme this year was Notes on Camp by Susan Sontag. And camp, I describe camp as like what the kids call extra today. It's like the hugest, furthest version of being extra that you can be.
I love
right?
it.
And so my whole career has been based on me being campy. Like, that's why I have a career. So I know what camp is, girl. I know what it is. And so when we finally got to the space of it was going to be Egyptian, and we were going to do this Egyptian look, my stylist, Sam Rattel, was like, well, you need to be carried in. You're the sun god. You need to be carried in. You know, the Egyptians didn't walk. They were carried. And I was like, okay, queen, what does that mean? And he was like, we're going to get you shirtless men to carry you. I said, okay, I'm working. You go make that happen. And he made that happen.
I mean, it's so amazing. I highly suggest you guys Googling it just to see, because
it's ridiculous.
I think you won.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't think of it as a competition, and everybody, everything is a competition in the world these days. I'm just being myself, and I'm just having the time of my life. That's what I'm doing.
Oh my God, it's so fabulous. I want to be you here so badly. So for anyone that's late to the game on Pose, how would you describe it?
Okay, so Pose is about the LGBTQ ball culture. Now, if you don't know what that is, essentially, if you go back to Madonna's Vogue, for instance, voguing came out of this culture. And it's generally, LGBTQ people of color who have been disenfranchised from their families as well as the culture at large. And they have come together to create a family space for themselves. So it's about chosen family, and it's about fabulousness, and it's about people choosing life, the choice to choose life, the choice to choose joy. It's an active choice, and you have to recommit to it every day. And, these people do it in the face of the worst kinds of tragedies on a daily basis. Our trans women of color are being killed weekly right now. It's unacceptable. So this show really shines a light on that group of people, and I hope that it has a way of reminding people that we're all human.
Yeah.
We're not things
Correct.
that can be disposed of. We're humans.
We're all interconnected.
Correct.
Well, where does your character Pray Tell fit into things?
So Pray Tell is, they have these balls. They come together in the community and have these balls, and it's aspirational. So it's about being real. So if you can't do it in your real life, if you can't attain the dreams that you have in your real life, they come to the ballroom to pretend, and to sort of like put themselves in a space of positivity and realness. It's always about being real. Like, can you pass as being a businessman on the street? So they have categories, right, and you walk the categories and you compete, and you either win or lose as whatever category it may be.
You say that like it's real, but the beautifulness is I love imagination is everything.
Yes. And the imagination can set you free. That's what's so beautiful about the arts.
That's right.
Is that, for me, at least, theater saved my life. The arts saved my life because it cracked open a space in my brain where I could dream beyond my circumstance.
That's right. 100%. I mean, Donnie and I talk about that all the time. He's like, getting into like theater and stuff. It allows you to have other perspectives when you go into a character.
Yes. And you meet a bunch of different people. For me, it was like going from the Pentecostal church where, being gay is totally not acceptable, to going to a group of people who sort of just embraced me for being, for existing, you know, and I found my tribe and I found my family. I found a chosen family that really supported me and helped me become the man I am today.
And I do love that how you phrase it, chosen family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, biological family and chosen family are two different things.
100%.
You know, you can't choose your biological family. And so, therefore, you don't always get the one that you need, unfortunately.
No, you don't.
You
know. Don't. And then sometimes you got to weed that garden to let other flowers bloom.
Correct.
And when you were younger, when was that moment you felt okay, safe to be who you are?
I never felt safe.
Really?
I'm just now feeling safe in my late 40s. You know, it started happening in my 40s where it just became, I just got tired. I got tired of always feeling unworthy, always feeling dismissed. I just got tired of it. And, you know, one thing I got from Oprah and Maya Angelou and, you know, my ladies, my spiritual ladies and men, you know, we really do have to learn how to love ourselves.
100%.
So that, you know, but really understand what that means. And that's an evolution. That takes some time. It's layered. It's constant. It, you know, it deepens and deepens all the time. You never arrive at that. But you get better at understanding loving yourself unconditionally then allows for you to teach others how to love you back.
100%. And you know, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I remember reading hundreds, thousands of books on loving yourself. And I'd be in the mirror doing, like, you know, little sayings, I love you.
Right.
And I had such a difficult time back then understanding how to love yourself. It was such an abstract you know,
it is abstract.
I figured it out now, but I always like to hear from my guests.
Yeah.
If you were to define it, and I know it's really hard, but what are some actions that you put in place in your life that shows self-love?
Well, the first thing for me is about changing your tapes in your head. Yes. You know, we are instinctively, as humans, we all go to the negative. It's very easy to do. I don't know why we do it. You know, on my social media page, I don't read comments very often, but when I do, you know, I will have hundreds of thousands of the greatest, most positive, and there's one comment that's negative, and my brain will focus on that.
Of course.
So the first thing you have to do is retrain your speaking, because you speak into the universe what you are. So if you keep saying I can't, then you won't. If you keep saying I'm not, then you will never be.
That's right.
You know, so you have to change that language. And when it comes in, when the negative comes in, you have to be conscious enough to go, no, I hear you, but I speak life.
That's right.
You know, it's really, and it's a practice, which is, and I go back to what you were saying, standing in the mirror, that's the practice. That
Correct.
is the practice.
It is the
You
practice.
have to fake it till you make it. You say it until it then returns to you.
Yeah. And I've also noticed, like, the subconscious, like you said, these belief systems that we have throughout our lives that are way back in our subconscious, that we filter everything through. So if it's I'm not worthy,
right.
You're not walking around necessarily saying I'm not worthy, but because of that belief system, the things that come in, you're filtering it and then making it as proof.
Right.
Instead of saying, I hear you, it doesn't belong to me.
No. Yeah, correct. The answer is no. That's my favorite.
Yeah, right?
I say that all the time. The answer is no. We're not doing that.
I taught my son, I'm like, it has nothing to do with you. It belongs to them.
Yes.
They're projecting their own yuckies.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with you.
Their own yuckies. That's
I know,
so sweet.
like
How old is he now?
Well, he's now he's 17, but I started this dialogue when he was probably 6 years old. I talked to him about the ego mind.
Right.
How the ego mind, because we're human beings, will always be there and it will try to trick you into telling you somebody that you're not.
Lies. Telling you lies about
That's
yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he'll come in the room and be like, you'll never believe what my ego's saying right now.
That's
so he's
so
able
sweet.
to separate. It's so
That's
wonderful.
really sweet and very healthy.
So healthy. I'm like, God, I wish I would have had that growing up instead of had religion. I'm going to burn in hell. Burn in hell.
Who you talking?
I fucking stayed up every night for probably 3 hours saying 600 Hail Marys, 400 Our Fathers, like afraid Satan was going to come in the room at any second.
Yeah. I can't do that anymore either.
No, I think a lot of us are waking up to that.
I can't do it anymore.
So where do you think we are right now in society? Is it more open to the possibilities? Are we still way behind? Are you happy with the direction we're getting into?
I think we're at a crossroads. I think humanity in general is at a crossroads. You know, we saw this space, unfortunately, way, 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 way back in the Nazi times, you know, where it's this convergence of the idea that if I personally don't like you or relate to you or understand you, you don't exist.
Right.
You are the other and you must be eradicated. Correct. Like, it's the weirdest.
You must be silenced.
You must be silenced. You must be eradicated. You must be controlled. You must be. And it's like we are at that space again. We are at that space in our culture again. And I don't mean this in a negative way, because we got lazy. We got happy. We got a black president. Oh my God, racism is over. What do you mean? All lives matter, you guys. You know, it's like, no, y'all know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to see it. Until we see it, until we see the truth and we address the truth, we're never going to be able to change this reality. So we have to own all of the things, the good and the bad.
100%. And it kind of, when I look at my own spiritual path, I would have these moments of like really kind of woke, and then I would fall. Mm-hmm. And in that fall, at first I was able to then, when I came back, get up even higher.
Of course.
And then I would fall. So I have to believe, like, definitely the planet's waking up. There's way more spiritual people becoming conscious and aware and present.
Yes.
And I think that with the yin and yang, it's hopefully we're going to go and come back up.
But we're in the place where now everybody is paying attention. Everybody is you know, our side, the Democrats, whatever we're calling it. You know, there are a lot of people who are present again and going, oh, right, it's on us. Right, democracy depends on me paying attention.
That's right. How about this taking some accountability?
Yes. Going to the voting booth where literally people died so that you could have the right
to vote.
To vote, which means take part in your society and how your society is structured.
Right.
You know, it's like no vote. It does always vote.
Right. You're not allowed to bitch.
No.
If you didn't vote.
No. Never.
If you want to do something about it, it's on you.
Yes.
You can't blame everybody else.
Right. And I think we're in a really wonderful space. I mean, could you imagine the house looking like it looks right now if everything was perfect?
Right.
Those women are turning me out.
Right.
In that house. You know, speaking the real truth, having no fear. No fear. These girls have no fear. I love it more than I can. It's like, yes, that's what this is about.
It is.
So that the real leaders and the real people can emerge and learn how to lead.
Yes.
And that's where we are.
Getting rid of some of this corruption. I do want to move on and ask you about this, because you did a roundtable interview with some other actors for Hollywood Reporter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Girl.
And you called out straight actors for playing gay roles to their faces.
No, see, listen, I got to already stop you. I'm going to let you finish the setup.
No, it's okay. I'm just, my producer question, so it's not on me. Did any of them come up to you and talk to you afterwards and tell me the truth of the situation?
No, first of all, I have to say this.
Please.
The press likes to spin shit around. Can I say shit? Likes to spin shit around and always make it about clickbait. We live in a society that's very, very a dragging culture. They always want to drag somebody. Because I play pray tell on the show and he kind of drags people at the balls for fun, that's the assumption that I'm going to show up like that. I'm the total antithesis of that. I'm not dragging anybody ever, for real, unless I tell you that I am beforehand, right? So I was asked a question about my experience in show business as a Black gay man. I answered the question. It was not about me taking down anybody. I didn't even realize at the table that I was like, I didn't even know old boy was in Rocket Man. Richard was in Rocket Man playing somebody gay. I hadn't seen the English Scandal. I didn't know he was playing a gay man. And Diego Luna from his Tambien something. E2, Tambien, whatever. Like, apparently he played a gay teenager or youth or something. I had no idea. So then you set it up and I answered the question and then they cut it and they cut to their reactions as if they're reacting to me. And it's like, but that reaction could have come from anywhere. Like, there was no energy like that at the table.
I'm
Nothing.
so glad you clarified that.
Nothing.
To have my listeners hear that, because that happens all the
time.
Fucking time.
All the time.
I've had it happen where I'll answer a question and then all of a sudden it's the headline.
And it's the context. It's taken out of context.
Correct.
You're like, none of these men were offended by what I said. I wasn't talking about them.
Right.
I was answering a question directed at me and my experience. So if the truth exposes something, so be it. But I'm not attacking anybody.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Not only do I see what you mean, I lived it. So now explaining it, I know.
Right. And so everybody's like, ooh, Billy Porter came for the straight actors. No, I didn't, y'all. No, I didn't.
I love that you clarified that. I love it, Billy.
I love that you give me the platform to clarify that because I was so pissed off. I was like, why are y'all doing that to me?
Right?
I just got here. Why are you trying to make me a negative person?
Right.
I just got here.
I know. And I like what you said. I'm not my character.
Yeah, I'm not my character.
I know, trust me, Billy, but you did a really good job explaining that. I only have a couple minutes left, but I have to ask you because I've been to, Vanity Fair parties, and I'm like this, Southside Chicago girl. So going into those kind of parties always like kind of freaked me out. I get starstruck and I don't want to talk to anybody. But going to the Met Gala, it seems like something I would just be so awkward. Was there anyone that you were starstruck by, or
I'm not a big starstruck kind of person. I respect people for their craft. I'm a person who loves talent. And so I'm not the kind of person though that like feels anxious like that. I don't know. I guess I've been going to these parties and trying to do this for so long that I don't know. I don't know what that is. But what was so wonderful about the Met Gala, and to your point, is that, the hugest stars are invited. And it's a very controlled environment. Like, you can't bring your husband or your wife if they're not as famous as you.
Right.
They have to stay at home.
Right.
For everybody, even Oscar winners. If your husband is not as famous, he ain't coming.
That's
or
right.
if you didn't spend the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for the table, you're a guest.
Correct.
You're a guest of the event. So, going into that space, it's very controlled and it's really nice because everybody's guard is down. Because nobody has a buffer with them.
That's right.
So you start to have real conversations with people that you wouldn't otherwise have. And that was the beauty of the experience for me.
I love it. Really, everyone's on an equal playing field.
Yeah. It was
Billy
great.
Porter, you're such a delight to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
You're a good human being. I could tell you've got a lot of self-love inside of you. And I think you're just going to be I'm going to watch you soar, Billy.
Oh, thank you so much.
The show's called Pose. Season 2 premieres tomorrow night at 10 o'clock on FX, people. Make sure you check it out. Billy Porter, please come back.
I'll come back anytime you want me to.
God, are you fabulous?
Oh, thank you. You are too,
really
girl.
Are.
That face is beat for the morning, honey.
Thank you so much. Coming from
Just
you.
so y'all know, kids, she don't come to work dragging. That
Thank
face
you.
looks like it's nighttime, honey. New Year's Eve
Good
with the
dabber
ball
makeup.
dropping.
We'll be right back. I love you.
Jenny McCarthy Show.
Oh!